What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Frontline Film Podcast, episode number 16. Um, hope everyone had a happy Easter weekend. We both got to go home and see family. So I hope everyone else had a good Easter weekend as well. But also had a pretty big week with movie news and trailers and one of the biggest movies of the year thus far that we're going to be talking about. So yeah, hello. How's it
Hi.
hanging?
Hi. Did
How
you
was
have
your
a good
weekend?
Easter? How was my weekend? Is that what you
Yeah,
asked?
man. How was your Easter?
It was good. I got to see family, like you said. It was a pretty good weekend, a long, much needed weekend, and unfortunately for me, I come back and have to do finals. So yeah, so not fun. But yeah, no, it was a good weekend. How was your Easter?
Oh man, it was lovely. Your dad cooked me crappie for the first time.
Yeah, he did. He
His
did
dad
do
cooked me
that.
some crappie.
Yep.
Good times, good times. But yeah, like I said, big week of movie trailers and stuff. There was the Star Wars celebration in Japan. Got a couple announcements and like footage leaks there. We're gonna be covering, and then uh, of course we're gonna be talking Sinners, the new Ryan Coogler film with Michael B. Jordan. I'm excited to talk about that a little more with you, but
Yep.
before we get to that, let's jump right into all these trailers we got. So like early on in the week, um, we got the newest trailer, the first like real trailer I feel like for the Fantastic Four First Steps.
Hmm.
It's the first time you kind of really get to see all of them like in the trailer showing their powers. It's the first time you get to see Pedro Pascal's powers on camera. It's the first look we get of Julia Garner's Silver Surfer, which I thought the design looked pretty good.
Hmm.
The special effects look like they're gonna kick ass. I know sometimes it's hard to like do special effects on like stretchy people, you know?
Oh yeah.
They say that's like super hard to do, but I mean, in the one little clip we got of Pedro Pascal doing it, I mean, it looked good.
Hmm.
We got another little glimpse of Galactus, and then we got the clip of him walking through the city, just obliterating everything. Um, Man, the more and more I'm seeing of this movie, the more excited I'm getting. It looks really freaking good. The whole cast looks great. The Thing looks awesome.
Yep.
He's probably going to be a fan favorite.
Yep.
Um, Silver Surfer looks cool. Galactus looks cool. Man, I'm pumped. I'm ready. Marvel's back.
Yeah, the more we see of this and the Thunderbolts, the more you get excited for Marvel in general. Now, how this plays into the overall Doomsday story, yeah, we don't know yet, obviously. And we saw really Galactus's feet in this one. We saw more of the Silver Surfer in this one. We didn't see any in that teaser that we got. Um, but yeah, the one thing that I wanted to see was how Reed Richards' abilities would look in the movie. And for the split second that we got, it looked very, very cool. And then of course the thing, um, getting to see him pull the ship through the water, he looked great. And then the very, very cool part of the trailer where um Johnny Storm is chasing the Silver Surfer, and she like flips, and he falls back. Very, very cool as well. But yeah, I'm with you. The more we see of this, the Fantastic Four, the more trailers we see and everything like that, the more excited I'm getting for it. Same goes with Thunderbolts. So I think Marvel's in a very good spot. We'll talk Daredevil in a minute as well, overall season. And I'm hoping, man, that this movie is got a really good story to showcase how cool these characters really are and how much they mean to each other too. And it looks like they're in a world where everybody loves them. And remember, in our MCU, not everybody is a superhero fan, but they are in a world which we think is a parallel universe or part of the multiverse. We don't think it's the actual MCU. And they look like they all love the Fantastic Four. So it's going to be very interesting to see if this world stays around or this one gets obliterated. We don't know,
Yeah.
obviously, the grand scheme of things, but this should be very, very fun.
Yeah. No, we'll talk Pedro Pascal a little bit more later.
Yeah, yeah,
But I know when the castings first got announced, they announced him as Reed Richards. Like me and you were both like, "Come on, really?"
yep.
Like we love Pedro Pascal, but like he's in everything,
Yep.
and he seemed almost a little too old to play Reed Richards.
Yep.
I don't know. We were both very hesitant about it, and then we get the first look of him, like kind of in the last teaser. It's like, okay, he looks the part, but in this trailer, you get a little more like speaking lines from him and
Hmm.
interaction between him and Sue.
Hmm.
Um, and he definitely I think he's gonna kill it. I really think they did a good job with the casting, and yeah, it's definitely clearly a different universe. And I kind of have a theory that this universe is going to get obliterated, honestly.
Yeah.
That's my theory. I think Galactus is going to win and they're going to somehow end up in in the main MCU universe. So we'll just kind of have to see. I could be wrong. Um, but yeah, dude, looks sick. Like you said, Thunderbolts too. Very, very excited.
They got Marvel has done a good job at this point. We talked about the marketing thing they did earlier, this month or last month or whatever. But from what they've done for Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, the trailers that we've gotten, they've generated a lot of hype. Just hopefully it pays off and it's good.
Yeah, and apparently Doomsday has officially started filming because Anthony Mackie
Yeah.
posted a picture of him in London
Yeah.
and said let's get it started. So very cool, exciting stuff. Excited to see how Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts play into that. But I'm sure we'll find out soon. So
Yep.
that's Fantastic Four. We also got the second trailer for 28 Years Later, which is a movie that you picked on your most anticipated. Um, and just another unreal trailer. That first trailer that came out like a couple months ago, elite.
Yeah.
Like
Agreed.
genuinely scary trailer. And then
Hmm.
this one just did it again, you know.
Yep.
It was a lot more different footage. You get a little bit more of Aaron Taylor Johnson, and some of the other cast members. But dude, this movie looks scary. And we'll
Yeah.
talk more zombie stuff later with The Last of Us, but man,
Yeah, no, these zombies, like when you think of like the most like terrifying, if you were stuck in a world like with zombies, this one would probably be at the bottom of your list. You do not want to be in this world. We got some crazy cool like shots from that movie. It looks like it's going to be very, very stunning visually as well. Aaron Taylor Johnson is a dog. We both love him. He is awesome as well. I think this movie is going to be elite. I Everything points to that. The trailers are trying to make you like terrified going into it. And that's what I like about zombies movies. I mean, we have funny ones, obviously, with like Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland. And we have like, zombies that aren't as scary. Maybe like everybody talks about The Walking Dead. I mean, they just walk and you don't have to worry about them running after you. But this one, they are genuinely sprinting after you and they are like terrifying. They are just terrifying. It makes me think of the ones in like World War Z that are like climbing up the walls and everything. So I think this movie might be elite. I'm getting to that point with the advertisements that we get for it. It just the soundtrack of marching up and down again. What? Like, dude, that is just peak, man. It's creepy, it's terrifying. The zombies look amazing. And I'm all in on zombies movies, and The Last of Us, kind of hypes you up for zombies because we get the ones in The Last of Us, which again we'll harp on the way they look later. But no, I think this one has a very, very high chance to be elite.
yeah, yeah. No, the first one is the first 28 Days Later is very, very good. I've never seen the second. I'm going to watch it. I wanna check it out before the new one comes out. But the first one is like obviously one of the most iconic zombie movies. I don't know if it was Cillian Murphy's first movie, but or one of his first big movies, anyways. Just iconic. So yeah,
Mm.
this new one looks sick. The trailer looks very creepy. Actually, the main vampire in Sinners, Jack
Yep.
O'Connell,
Yep.
he is also in 28 Days Later, and
Yep.
he plays like a. They said he's playing like a creepy cult leader,
Hmm.
which I think he's fits right well into that
Yep.
role.
He's gonna kill it.
You get a taste of that in Sinners.
He's gonna kill it.
He can definitely play a good villain. So that was
Yep.
cool. Um, yeah, dude, the design looks great, and yeah, man, zombie fans are eating good with The Last of Us in this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, eating good, and I like you said, I love like the fun zombie movies too, like Zombieland and
Hmm.
um, what else did you say? Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Yeah.
But let's make zombies like it's terrifying again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, The Walking Dead kind of did their whole thing is the walking, like they walk and they're more scary in like groups or whatever they call them in the show. But these are like if you had two chasing after you, good luck. So
yeah,
I want those kind of zombie movies.
yeah, for sure. Um, so yeah, man, horror fans, you're eating good, and we'll jump right into the next trailer. So we both, did you get it before Sinners?
I did not get it before Sinners, unfortunately.
Okay, well, I got it before Sinners. No one really knew this trailer was coming out or going to premiere before Sinners, but that's like when it debuted. The trailer for the new football horror movie called Him. I'm not sure who the director is, but Jordan Peele produced it. Um, it's got Marlon Wayans, and I forgot the main dude's name. I've seen him before. Hold up, let me look his name up. Him movie. Tyreek Withers.
Hmm.
What is he in? I've seen him in something. But basically he seems like a young up and coming football star. Marlon Wayans is like a older football star. And it almost looks like, yeah, have you seen Black Swan with Natalie Portman?
Hmm.
Like a football version of that, because she was what, ballet in that one?
Yeah. Yep.
It's kind of like what are you willing to sacrifice for fame and fortune and
Yeah.
talent? Um, but for football, I mean, and it looked, dude, that trailer was creepy.
Yeah.
We got it in the theater before Sinners, and like I had chills at the end of the trailer. It looks really, really cool. We don't get a ton of football movies, I feel like anymore, and I honestly can't think ever of a sports horror movie other than, something like Black Swan, but that's not even really sports really that much. Um, So yeah, dude, this looks sick. Super cool concept, and Jordan Peele's behind it. Like, I mean, that's
Yeah.
what you need to hear.
I'm very interested because I like the concept of what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to do for success and fame? And how far people are willing to go for that. It's a very cool concept. It's something people talk about all the time. Like, are you willing to give up yourself? Are you willing to give up your friends and family? Like, what are you willing to do to get to the peak of whatever you're trying to do? And also like probably I would expect that Marlon is going to be an idol to the main quarterback, right? And you're going to probably do what your idol says. Like he's going to be able to easily manipulate him and say, this is what I did, this is what I did. But maybe it's a test, how, to see if he's right up. It could be a number of different things. I just think it's a very cool concept that can kind of dive into, um, where we go to like the famous level athletes that we see on TV, to famous Hollywood actors, to musicians, which we'll talk about in Sinners kind of. But no, it's a very cool concept, one that doesn't get explored a lot in sports movies. But yeah, no, I agree. This one's gonna be awesome. Jordan Peele, is like you said, producing it, and Jordan Peele seems to be on a roll. And this one should be very interesting. And this one's definitely going to be a movie that's, yes, horror, like a horror genre that's like tense, makes you like really think
Very
after you get done.
psychological.
Yeah, it really is probably going to make you think once you leave the theater.
Yeah. I saw Jeff Lowe had a great description for it, and I know you hadn't seen the movie yet, but he said it basically looks like The Substance for football fans.
Hmm.
Which really does. That's kind of what The Substance is about. Like, what are you willing to sacrifice to be famous and whatever. So, yeah, dude, the movie looks sick. Very cool concept. Like, sports horror. We love sports. We love horror movies, and it seems like an original story. We're getting a lot of good original horror. Yeah, man, and that comes out in, like the middle of September,
Yeah, that'll
kind of right
be
around when football season starts. I'm sure
yeah, no, that'll be great.
that'll be
That'll be
heavily
great.
promoted at the start of the season.
Absolutely.
Very cool stuff there.
Or people might hate it when the football players might be like, "No, we don't do." And the football players that talk about that,
And
watch out for them.
the scene in the trailer where they like clash helmets and then you see like their skeletons, dude, during a concussion.
Yeah.
Gnarly,
Yep.
gnarly. Yeah, so that movie's gonna be awesome. Um, and yeah, that was really all the big trailers we got for this week. Like I said earlier, we also had Star Wars Celebration this week. in Japan. So we got a whole lot of updates on upcoming Star Wars movies and shows and things like that. And I think it actually just ended like today or yesterday. It goes on for a while.
Hmm.
But we're just going to cover some of the big pieces real quick. And I think probably the biggest is that the Sean Levy movie starring Ryan Gosling is officially like confirmed. It was like in talks, no one knew 100% if it was going to happen, but Ryan Gosling came out on stage, Sean Levy was out there, and it's going to be called Star Wars Starfighter.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously Ryan Gosling's going to play the lead. We don't know if he's going to be a Jedi or like someone in the army or whatever. So we'll just kind of have to see. Sean Levy did like it is set a couple years after the Skywalker saga,
5 years.
but he did say that it wasn't like the movie's not going to harp on the past stories. He said you might see some familiar faces, but like it's not going to try to harp on, everything that we got for 9 movies, which I mean is refreshing. This is also like the furthest we've ever gotten the Star Wars storyline to go. A lot of the stuff we get is like things that happened in the past or the Old Republic or whatever. This is really jumping forward past the end of the Skywalker saga, kind of jumping into new territory, I feel like. Um, so him saying that was kind of like refreshing to me because I know we were hesitant when we first heard about it. It was like, oh my God, come on. Um, but hey, I trust Sean Levy. I do. Deadpool. We both love Deadpool and Wolverine. Um, we both also really enjoyed Free Guy, and then he did like all the Night at the Museum movies. So he can definitely make a good, fun movie. And Ryan Gosling is like probably top 3 actors working right now. We love him and everything he's in. Um, yeah. So what? I didn't even talk to you about any of this. What do you think?
If
You're the big
he,
Star Wars guy,
yeah,
so
no. Look, I understand the if you're gonna do it 5 years, if you really mean that you're not gonna bring a lot of the characters that we saw in the sky, like the sequel trilogy, if you really mean that it's not gonna harp on that, then I'm all in. I'm cool with just being because there has to be an aftermath of no Palpatine. There has to like there's definitely a story to be told there. But what is Ryan Gosling going to be? What is his role? Is he going to be a Jedi? If he's not a Jedi, how many Jedi are present? Did Rey train him? Like, who is in the middle of all of it? That's all got to be answered. That's why I kind of wanted it like far after Rey, so that Rey, could have her ending. Because if you bring her into this movie, it's not an ending. I don't want to see Rey turn into a Force ghost and disappear away. I don't want to see that. I don't care. She got her ending and it was a fine ending. Um, I still think the Old Republic needs to be explored. I really do. I think that's the route that they need to go because there's so many stories and so many legends and myths and everything in Star Wars lore that's there. I think you should go that way. But if you're going to do a brand new idea and you really think this is the way to go and you really think you can create a compelling story this way, then go for it. But you have to know that we are kind of over the Skywalker saga. We're kind of over if you're going to do multiple movies on he's Palpatine's dead, okay? Like, well, I don't care about Skywalker saga anymore. The fact that he was even back for the sequel trilogy is hilarious. We make jokes about it all the time. But I don't know. I like Ryan Gosling a lot. Sean Levy is good, like really good. Deadpool and Wolverine we loved. I get very nervous though about this. I get nervous because I love Star Wars, and the sequel trilogy is hit or miss for every single Star Wars fan, and it has mixed reactions and reviews. I really want this one to be a hit though, and Ryan Gosling at the forefront, even if he's not a Jedi, because Starfighter can kind of go either way. Starfighter more you would think of a pilot, I would think, but you never know with Sean Levy, and you never know. Ryan Gosling, I think, is perfect for this role, though. I really do. He could fit into the Star Wars universe, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I'm excited for it. Obviously, we love Star Wars. I don't even know when that comes out. Probably like 27 or something.
27, yeah.
Um, so. we got plenty of Star Wars stuff until then, and other big news. I mean, we already knew it was happening and everything, but The Mandalorian and Grogu, the movie comes out in next May,
Hmm
2026. So that's very exciting. That'll be the first Star Wars movie we've gotten since Rise of Skywalker, and that was what, 2019 or something. So
hmm
first Star Wars movie in a while on the big screen. Obviously, we've gotten all the shows and everything, but um, I mean, I'm curious to see how bringing, Mando into a movie works. I think it can and will work, but we've really only seen him, on, on mostly smaller scale stuff, So I'm curious to see how they make a big movie out of it. We love Pedro. Sigourney Weaver's in it. Grogu's the cutest thing in the world. So,
hmm
I mean, I think it's going to be a hit. People are going to love it. It's going to make a ton of money. And I don't know if you saw, there was a little bit of leaked footage of the trailer. I saw a little bit of it, and it does look pretty good. It looks like it's shot really well. There was that picture of Pedro um, in like the black Mando armor. I don't know if you
hmm
saw. It looks sick. So, yeah, man, that comes out next year. Very cool. We also got a couple updates on the other Star Wars movies. Um, they're still working on like a new Jedi Order movie with Rey, which we knew about. That was kind of announced last year. Um, Daisy Ridley returning, obviously, as Rey. Don't really know like what that story's going to entail, but I mean, I guess still cool. Rey's awesome. Maybe people have mixed feelings about the way she was handled in the sequel trilogy and how the sequel trilogy was just handled in general, but
hmm
definitely very interesting character. And if she can kind of have her own story outside of the Skywalker saga, maybe training new young Jedi, I mean, that sounds cool too. But the one that I'm most excited for is the James Mangold one about the first Jedi, the Dawn of the Jedi or something. I don't know what it's called. Um, but that one, I don't know when that's going to come out or anything. But they did say like it was still in development. That's probably the most intriguing to both of us, if I had to guess.
Real quick on the Mandalorian one. I think this is one if you keep it like an hour 40, hour 45, something like that, not anything crazy, like a just a fun adventure. Not made for kids, obviously. That's not what I mean, but just fun and exciting and just like a cool little adventure they can go on. I think that's a hit. I think they can easily knock that one out of the park. And we don't need a whole in-depth thing about the Mandalorian and Grogu. We don't need that. There's 3 seasons of the show, right? And the last one wasn't the best season ever. I know it wasn't my favorite, and it might have not been your favorite either. But I think if the movie can just do, an hour 45 buddy movie, not buddy movie, but like an adventure with Grogu and Mando, I think that's it. The first Jedi one, definitely you have a chance to bring Star Wars back to the limelight if you can make a very good first Jedi type thing. There's so many stories to be told way before Anakin Skywalker shows up. And that's all we've known the whole Star Wars existence is Skywalker. So and he could be related to Anakin somehow. I don't know what they'll do. They'll probably pull some stupid thing like that or Palpatine or something. That's something they would do. But that one is definitely the most intriguing. I think that one could be very cool. You got a chance to knock it out of the park. You got a chance to reel people back in. You can make a bunch more stories about that too. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're also going to be reeling people back in with their TV shows as well. So like, I don't know if you saw the early reviews for Andor season two.
Yep.
People are saying it's infinitely better than the first, which I don't know how because season one of Andor is unfreaking real. Some of the best Star Wars content ever. Some people even say they think it is the best Star Wars content ever. And that's literally in 2 days. We get that on Tuesday.
Yep.
I love how they're doing 3 episodes a
3
week.
episodes,
It's like you
man.
get basically like a movie every week.
Yep.
Which is sick. That's going to keep people engaged and talking about it. So, pumped for that. They also confirmed Ahsoka season two. Hayden
Yep.
Christensen is going to be returning.
Yep.
Um, yeah, and they're doing a couple of their other like little animated shows that they announced as well. But in regards to big things, they also did. kind of briefly talk about what the next trilogy. We don't know what directors are going to be involved. I think there is one writer who is working on writing all of it. Simon, let's see, Simon Kinberg. Yeah, I don't know what he's worked on. Um, he's worked on a lot of the X-Men movies. That's what it was. And he's supposedly like writing the next trilogy. So we'll just gonna have to see what all this stuff looks like. But I mean, Star Wars is officially back this week, and that'll definitely get us hyped up.
Yep.
And I guess after Andor, the next thing will be Mando and Grogu. So um, very excited that a lot of new Star Wars stuff is finally being released outside of just on Disney Plus. Even though a lot of that's been great, but it's refreshing to get it back on the big screen. Because Star Wars on the big screen is just sick. That's where it's meant to
Yeah,
be.
absolutely.
The shows are good, but it's meant to be seen on the big screen. So very, very excited there. All right, so that is all of our movie news and trailers. Definitely got some exciting stuff coming up. And now we're gonna jump into all the stuff we've been watching, all the TV shows that we've watched this week. And at the top of the list, we finally got the finale for Daredevil Born Again season two or season one. Definitely, me and you were so amped for this episode. It's been a great season so far. It really has. A lot of good stuff with Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk. We've got a little Frank Castle. Obviously, Bullseye's awesome. Muse was great, and it's all leading up to this. It's all been leading up to the finale, and we knew Punisher was going to be back. We kind of knew Karen was going to be back. Um, and yeah, I don't even really know where to start with this. Other than I know me and you were both a little disappointed in the finale, unfortunately. Um, we both loved the whole show. Like you've heard us talk about it every week. There really wasn't a bad episode. Even the filler episode was sick. Everything felt important. Um, and that's not to say this is a bad episode. There's some sick stuff in this episode. Him and Punisher fighting together again is awesome. Frank just slaughtering people like brutally. Love it.
Hmm.
But you said it best. It just unfortunately felt like a setup for season two. I wanted to kind of have some finality to it, and I just really don't think we got it. I understand they made this with knowing that there was already going to be another season, but like each Daredevil season of the original show, like had a great ending to it. Um, and this just, man, it just kind of fell flat for me. I remember watching, I was like, damn, it was very underwhelming. Other than the action with like him and Punisher, obviously that was sick. I know you probably loved that too. That was very cool. But for the most part, man, it was definitely a little underwhelming, which sucks because we've loved the whole show. But yeah, I was disappointed in the ending, not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, it like you said, we got a really good season that felt like there were a lot of high tensions. Even after the whole Muse situation or the Muse ending, there was still a lot of tension at the end of last episode, episode 8. And it really felt like this one just didn't play into any bit of we're gonna end this with some satisfaction. This was one of the more unsatisfying endings to a like TV show that I can remember for a season. And it's like even okay, cliffhangers are fine, but there has to be questions answered and stuff come to a head. The whole reason that you build up tension is so they can get to a breaking point. But this felt like this was always going to be made into a two-season story, and I hate that. There's no reason that we should have been left with a shot of him saying we need an army, and it's just people that we've already seen. Cops. I thought we might get like a little cameo from maybe even like Luke Cage or Jessica Jones, just somebody. Even Kate Bishop, maybe. Nobody. We didn't get anything like that, and I know that's selfish. But you even get to the point where Frank Castle is being beat the living hell out of by the other people who look up to him, and even he doesn't really get a satisfying like he's just captured, And Wilson Fisk walks through all the cages of his enemies, that people that are doubting him, and he has a nice little dinner with his wife and with the painting in the background. Cool. But even that wasn't satisfactory for me. I didn't feel any bit of like you said, finality. It's just kind of lackluster. I'm not saying it ruined the whole show. I'm just saying that this felt like it was always made to be 2 seasons, and it was going to be a 2 season story.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. It was definitely disappointing. And another show in recent memory that I don't think you have watched, but that was the same thing, was the most recent season of House of the Dragon. First season was great, and then the season last year, a lot of people were just disappointed in it because the whole thing was just set up for season three, which is supposed to be like, insane when shit hits the fan. So yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because we both loved the show, we both loved the characters, and there was definitely still some cool stuff in the episode, though. I know we had talked about after last week, after Matt saved Fisk's life, maybe Fisk maybe turned over a new leaf for a little bit or something. Nope, he just got even more angry for some reason. He didn't really acknowledge that fact that Matt saved his life at all.
No,
Um,
no, he did not.
like
He
at
literally
all.
told the hit guy it would be a shame if that lawyer that jumped in front of the bullet died from his injuries. And when he
Yeah,
said that,
I mean he ordered it out on Matt,
I
the
was
guy
like,
that
oh,
saved his
okay, this episode might be because I was at the beginning.
beginning. Yep, that
Yeah,
was
so
I mean that's the guy that saved his life, and he's sent a hit out on him. Obviously Matt escapes the hospital before that happens, but yeah, man. I mean Fisk is back in a full form, just absolutely, literally ripping the commissioner's face apart. That was pretty gnarly. Probably the most gnarly thing outside of some stuff in Deadpool and Wolverine. Most gnarly thing we've seen in the MCU thus far, like by a long shot. That was gruesome, and that was
yeah,
all like practical effects too. I saw like some behind the scenes of it.
I saw the practical head they used, which
Yeah,
was
the head that they used,
crazy.
very cool.
I didn't know anatomy looked like that inside, and I've looked inside cadavers, so
Yeah, it was
that
pretty
was
gross.
insane.
It was cool though. You saw it coming, and that's the first time that Fisk has like killed someone with his bear. Well, no, he didn't kill Adam because Vanessa shot at him. So
Yep.
first time you kind of see him slaughter someone this season. So he's back in a full form. Matt's obviously back as Daredevil. Karen's back. Frank's back. We'll see what his little special that's supposed to come out next year is. What that's like. I don't know if it'll be like him escaping or what it'll be about, but yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. Overall, though, very very solid season of TV, solid season of Marvel content. It's certainly the most grounded Marvel has ever been, outside of maybe like the first Iron Man.
Hmm.
Um, it felt real. It felt like authentic. They were really on the streets of New York filming this. Um, yeah, I mean it's tough. I still think Loki is the best so far, but I will say, outside of this, it's hard to judge it because it's not a complete story yet. We don't know, what season two is going to look like, but overall, I think it's probably outside of Loki the best MCU show. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's Loki had a crazy cliffhanger for season 1, but we still got a lot of satisfaction from that finale. This one just, man, like it just left a sour taste in my mouth. Look, the whole show is good. I loved all of the episodes, and I just like I don't know if it was a Marvel problem. It might be a streaming problem. It could be anything, but you can't expect people to like want. There's no there's no satisfaction from watching that episode. Like you could have watched episode 8 and that would have been more of a
That would have
cliffhanger
been a
and more,
better ending.
yeah, than episode 9. Episode 9 is literally just feeding you information that you're going to use in next season. That's all it did. It didn't do, there were some cool fight scenes, there were some cool like you said, like Punisher and Daredevil scenes together. Other than that though, like the story, I mean, there's nothing given to us that we didn't like. When Fisk ordered the hit on Matt immediately in that episode, I was like, okay, this could get really good. And then nothing after that.
Yeah.
Nothing after that.
And I thought Karen's return just kind of seemed pointless.
Yep.
I didn't really like feel anything right there,
Nope.
when they saw her drive up. Um,
Um, yeah, no. And then his girlfriend is now the mental health person for his cabinet, which he just told you what Foggy was looking at, all the implications, and she just did not care whatsoever. She was like, "Oh yeah, I'll do that."
One thing
Um,
that I did think was cool about this episode was that Fisk's like main advisor lady, like she officially like fully turned. I
yeah,
thought that was neat. I don't think anyone really saw that coming. And you could tell she's like definitely wrestling with her decision there.
yeah,
Um, it's kind of wild. Fisk is just corrupting everybody around him,
yeah,
for the most part, and killing those that don't agree. So
yeah. No,
definitely some cool things and some things to look forward to. And luckily, it's not going to be too long of a wait because they are already filming it and it's supposed to release next.
Yeah, but it's kind of the principle. Like, don't do that. Like, if you're gonna do something, give us something to hold on to. Like, this storyline came to a head and this ended. There's so many. Like, you just literally left a book was written and you left it open and didn't finish it, and now we have to wait. If I had to grade like this finale, it'd be like a D. It really would. Like, because in a finale, it's in the name. We both said the word. You need some sort of finality, and we nothing, nothing, not one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely underwhelming, a little bit disappointing, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it is a good season of TV.
Hmm.
It's good Marvel content. It's good grounded Marvel content. All that's still important. And yeah, we're just gonna have to see where season two goes. I mean, I'm sure it'll be really good. I just hope they, can maybe nail a better ending. But luckily, like I said, they are already filming it. We've seen pictures. He's got the black suit with the red DD logo, like looks sick.
Yep.
And they're filming in New York, so that's cool as well. But yeah, unfortunate. But I guess not everything can just end in a banger.
Mm.
So we'll just have to see where it goes. But still, overall, solid season of TV. And it was good. It was definitely good to see all those characters back that we love.
Agreed.
We're excited to see them some more. And I want to see them. I want to see them get a little more like introduced into the MCU with some of the interacting with some of the other characters we love. So hopefully that'll be coming in the near future. We'll just have to see.
Hmm.
So that is Daredevil Born Again. Until next year. The other show we've been watching is The Studio. You still didn't watch the last episode or the last episode, but I'll briefly recap the new episode. I literally just watched it a couple hours ago. Um, it's an episode mostly about. So Seth Rogen's been at the forefront of every episode so far. This episode is about what is she? She's the creative executive, the short girl with like the short brown hair. What's her name? Quinn. It's about Quinn, and she's like trying to pitch, get a movie, greenlit that she likes or script that she read, and pick out a director. And she's trying to impress Seth Rogen's character, which is what everyone's trying to do. And she gets into a feud with Sal, who is also pitching a similar movie with a different director. And so the whole episode, it's called The War. The whole episode is just them going back and forth and backstabbing each other, um, trying to get their movie greenlit. And it's almost like like pranking each other, and not pranking, but like trying to sabotage one another. It's really really funny stuff. Um, yeah, you really don't get a ton of Seth Rogen this episode. It was cool to just kind of spend more time with her. You kind of get to learn like she's been at the studio a long time, and she hasn't really been getting the recognition she thinks she deserves. Um, and she feels like Sal has been getting a lot of the recognition that she deserves. Blah blah blah. But it's another super funny episode. I like how it kind of focused on some of the side characters that maybe we didn't really care that much about or think that much about.
Hmm.
Would be cool to see, what other side characters that they explore in the next coming, weeks. So that was officially the halfway mark of the season, episode 5. Uh, every episode's been great. You got to get caught up on it.
Yep. I'll get
They're
caught up
both
this
both
week.
of these episodes are only like 30 minutes,
Yep.
short watch, easy short
Yep.
watch. But yeah, no, the studio's kicking ass. I love it. It's right up my alley, right up your alley too. So, yeah, that's the studio. And here we are. here we are. The moment that we've been dreading for 2 years. Hey, Nugget. Nugget wanted to join the discussion. The moment that me and you've been dreading watching on screen for 2 years.
Did you not see that?
No, I did not. What happened? I guess I'll see it back in the playback.
There's a key that's hanging right here, and
Yeah,
he jumped and tried to grab, like he was like halfway up the door.
what a guy. What a legend. He's excited for The Last of Us. Anyways, we got the episode of The Last of Us season two. The episode. If anyone's watching or that has played the game, you know what that means. Um, it is the moment in the game that is probably the most controversial decision made in a video game in history. Um, and we didn't really know how they were gonna adapt it to be on TV. I will say, I think they did a damn fantastic job with it. And we'll jump into spoilers in a second, but I'll get your thoughts in a second as well. But overall, other than maybe the first episode of season one, I think this might have been the best episode of the whole show. Um, at, very satisfying after a frustrating week one. I know neither me or you loved episode one. It wasn't just like horrible, but it was just very, you know, it just it was set up for this episode, which is okay. I think this episode would have been a better first episode, Um, but that's beside the point. This was an incredible episode. Everything from the infected to get to spend a little more time with Abby and her crew and the Fireflies. Um, and then I'm just watching Nugget in the background. And then you got the town of Jackson being invaded,
Hmm.
which actually I don't think is in the game or it's off camera in the game.
Yeah.
I don't remember all that happening when that's happening to Joel and Ellie. Um, I I don't know if they added it in or if it was. I don't really remember. It's been a while, but um, the town scene where they were fighting the zombies for like 20 minutes or so, did it looked so good. And I said it last week. The setting looks incredible. They shot on location. They actually shot, I watched like the little post show thing where they talk about it. They actually shot like on this snowy mountain in an actual blizzard. They were all freezing their tails off shooting this episode. Some of the shots of like Abby walking on the mountain and stuff just look breathtaking.
Hmm.
So I will give it to them there, man. The production design and the settings and everything, man, they're firing on all cylinders this episode. And then the amount of makeup that we saw and all the zombies, there were so many freaking zombies.
I know.
I mean, dude, that was just a damn good hour of television. And we can
Yeah.
jump into spoilers in a second, but what did you think?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. We knew this was coming. We all, like, everybody knew this was coming, but we wanted to see how they were going to do it. And obviously, even The Last of Us, had pictures of a golf club, and they knew, we all knew, and they were teasing it. But no, I agree. I definitely now see why this is going to be split into two seasons. I can definitely see that they're taking a slower approach,
Well,
which
it's a long
means,
game.
yeah, yeah, it's a really long game. I'll tell you this. Caitlin Dever is outstanding in
Yeah,
this
dude.
episode. She is probably the MVP in my opinion of this episode. I will give her flowers in a minute. Trust me, because I definitely usually do not. But Caitlin Dever is outstanding, which I also think that she played Abby in the game as well. Or no, that's a different girl. I remember she either was like she watched a lot of the videos of the person who played Abby, or was like in the kind of the same,
She
but she
said
got
she
a lot of,
wanted to play. She
yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
play Abby.
But anyways, no, she's outstanding in this episode. Agree that it looks beautiful. The bloater, the first one we see, is so cool looking, and terrifying as well. Yeah, I agree that this might be one of the best episodes of the series. The first one captured the emotion perfectly. We had to sit through Joel's real daughter dying again, and that was horrible. It sucked. And this one just makes all that emotion that you feel playing the game come right back. Me and you have already seen what happened the first time, and it sucked, and it sucked the second time. It does not get any easier knowing what happens and knowing what's coming. I think they were giving a lot of tension in this episode, kind of building up to what we all knew was coming. And Man, it's just adaptation wise from the game to the show. They knocked this one out of the park. I mean, this one is just outstanding. And remember, you can add things. There's little details that don't have to be the same, just like in this episode. Um, just like we saw with Bill and Frank's episode in season one. This one was a very, very good episode that kind of just like canceled what we saw last week.
Oh
The
yeah,
disappointment we had last week didn't even matter
yeah,
this week. Didn't even like yeah, it's just really
yeah.
good.
I'm back amped up for this show after this episode, man. Like I can't get over the just how great it looked and how awesome that like city fight was, or the fight for Jackson was. It was so good, man.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's something neither one of us were really expecting this episode.
No.
But the thing we were expecting, which everyone has been expecting and dreading, and curious to see how and if they were going to do it. Unfortunately, as you all may know, our boy Joel kicks the bucket in this episode. Joel
Yes, he
gets
does.
murdered by Abby, as he does in the game, in very similar fashion. Um, Not 100% similar to fashion.
Nope.
I don't think they wanted to be that gnarly.
Nope.
So in
Nope.
the game, as she's like just beating the piss out of him, she eventually kills him by beating his head in with a golf club,
Yep.
like brutally in the game. Like it's gnarly. And we were wondering if they were going to do it the same way in this, and they almost did. You think they're going to, but then you see that the club has been broken, so she just grabs it, stabs it in his neck, which is still heartbreaking and gut wrenching. But I feel like they did take a little bit of a step back. I don't think they wanted to scar their fan base seeing Pedro Pascal's face be caved in.
Yeah.
Um, Part of me was kind of hoping they would do it, but I'm glad they did it the way they did it.
No, yeah,
Because
the
you were able
emo
to have that
it,
moment between
yeah.
Ellie and him.
Exactly. Exactly. No.
And to jump on that, and then we can get your thoughts on it, man. Um, Bella Ramsey's best performance ever that we've gotten ever up until this point. We have our opinions on her, whether we think she looks the part or fits the part, but there is no denying that she's a fantastic actress. It started in Game of Thrones and it has continued into The Last of Us. I agree. I don't think she was the best choice for Ellie. Maybe in the first game, but the second game, Ellie is much more grown and mature and bigger and older. So it has been a little, at least in episode one, it was a little hard to kind of believe. But man, you cannot deny the performance that she gave at the end of this episode when she's screaming, crying, snot bubbling, while Joel's about to be killed, and then she like crawls over to him and just hugs him. Man, that was some good stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah, where she's laying on the ground and she says, "Get up."
Get up,
And
Joel. And I remember that. I remember that in the
Joel
game,
is
man.
about like he's trying his best to get up off the floor, and Abby's one of her friends or whatever says finish it. She does. She puts that golf club right through his neck, and I agree with you. This having not having his head bashed in with a golf club, I think that made this scene 10 times better. And that goes to show how you can just take little things. It didn't have to be as brutal. It was still brutal enough, man. Abby's on her knees trying to just like feel something, feel relief, feel the revenge, feel satisfaction. Um, and she's down on her knees doing it with her fist. And hey, okay, you watched it. I know you have thoughts. But no, that little scene and Joel is a badass till the end, right? She's trying to do a little monologue. He says, if you're just gonna do it, do it. Like I'm not here to. I know it's coming, and yeah, it's gonna make it, especially if you guys have not watched the game. It's gonna make some parts of the later on in the show so much more satisfying for you. It's gonna feel like it's earned. But this one, yeah, like you said, Bella Ramsey is actually the MVP of this episode. Abby is outstanding. Abby is this is what makes the game so you can think it's a good game or a bad game or not, but what makes it so emotional is the relationship that these two characters have. They obviously hate each other for obvious reasons, but you have to have that moment with Joel. Um, he did it again. You have to have that moment with Joel. It builds the whole second game, builds Ellie's character. And earlier in the episode, she says that me and Joel are just the way we are. We are good and we're fine, but that's just who we are. So deep down, Joel and Ellie know that they have a love for each other, and it is like a daughter, father's relationship. And the last time she sees Joel, is for his daughter, just trying to get up off the floor, just one more time, and till his last breath. Her crawling over, her bawling, her crying. It feels genuine. It feels like you're actually immersed. That whole cabin scene is outstanding in this show. It is it's good. It's just good. It's good.
Yeah. No, man, it was an unreal episode, and I know it sucked. Joel died, Pedro's dead, but luckily, for those who have played the game, he will continue to show up. There's a ton of flashbacks in that game.
Yep.
Um, so we will still be seeing some more Pedro Pascal as Joel, which is refreshing. It's good. It's definitely gonna be a little painful for sure, but yeah, dude. Bella Ramsey was the MVP this episode, at least at the end. Abby's great. I know I said last week I think Isabella Merced was great as Dina. So those are like going to be the main three moving forward, and I think they're all three like really solid. Um, and I'm excited to see like how the show powers forward with no Pedro Pascal leading the charge. So um,
Yeah,
really good,
and
damn good episode.
it just goes to how good of a character Joel is. Joel doesn't know Abby from anybody, and he goes and saves her. And Abby still has that hatred of losing her father. And it's right. Like Joel understands. Joel doesn't try to plead for his life. He doesn't try to plead his case. Doesn't try to do any of that. He understands what he did, and he might regret it. And till the very last breath, he did it because he did what was right by Ellie. And that's what makes Joel's character so elite, I think, because he didn't do it because of his own selfish ambitions or anything like that. He did it because he loves Ellie and he thinks Ellie deserved to live. So, nah, it's sick. I thought it was a perfect episode almost. And look, there might be some down episodes in this season. Me and you know it's coming. How long the game is, how dragged out sometimes this game is. So there might be some lulls in this season, but ultimately, I know that probably the finale of this season will be insane. Be really good with a lot of emotion, and that's what this game really is a lot of emotion. So we might be getting the odds of someone crying during this season is probably pretty high. So,
Yeah. Yeah, almost cried tonight, man.
oh, that was tough to
that was
watch
tough,
again.
but it was really solid episode. I'm glad that they were able to rebound from last week, and I bet you feel a little bit better about taking them at your number one pick in the video game
Yeah,
adaptation.
yeah, no, I got nervous after
Redeemed
episode one.
they redeemed themselves for sure.
Yeah,
So
yep.
yeah, that's The Last of Us. Episode two. We still got several weeks of that, so we're excited to see where it goes. And
Yeah, it seems
now
like when we lose a show, we're just
we're
picking one
getting
up.
another
So
one.
like
Yeah, so
we
that's
Daredevil leaves and then we get Andor. So
yeah. I was about to say I'm excited to talk Andor, jump back into Star Wars. I might even try to. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to do it before the new episodes come out, but I'm gonna probably start a rewatch of season one because it has been a couple years and I just want a refresher. And it was just so freaking good. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, no more Daredevil, but we're getting Andor, so now we get to talk like Andor, the studio, and Last of Us. So, um, some really good stuff. And then I was also gonna briefly cover another show that I watched. I don't think you've gotten to it yet, but maybe you will. I've not finished it, but I did start Black Mirror this past week. Black Mirror's new season dropped like 2 weeks ago, and I think it was six. It's six new episodes, and I watched the first four. Um, I watched the first four, and none of the first four were just extraordinary. One or two of them were like pretty good. But from everything that I've seen on Twitter and people like TikTok, people talking about it, is that the last two episodes are elite. The second to last has Paul Giamatti in it, and then the last episode is the sequel to the U.S. Callister episode with Kristen Milotti. So, but yeah, I mean, it. I'm trying to recap who all was in the first couple episodes. Um, it really Aquafina was in one. It's Issa Rae, Emma Corrin. That was probably the best episode. I think that was Hotel Reverie. Um, what was the first one? See, the fact that I can't even really remember just kind of goes to show they were not bad, but for the most part, the first four were kind of just like, it's Black Mirror,
Hmm.
technology bad, um, kind of what the message is through all those. But
Yeah.
definitely, probably tomorrow or the next day, I'm gonna run through those last two, which apparently are the best two
Yeah,
episodes.
I heard the one with Giamatti is
Yeah, I've heard
outstanding.
the one with Giamatti is like really good, and then if you like the first U.S. Callister, which is like one of the most famous episodes of Black Mirror, um, that the new episode's really good. So I'll definitely jump on that. But I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts on Black Mirror. I really have always liked the show, but with it being an anthology, like it definitely has some misses here and there, for sure, which is okay. So yeah, I'm excited to get to those two new ones, but those are my thoughts so far on season seven of Black Mirror. All right, so that wraps up our TV show talk, and now it is the time that me and you have most been waiting for. Um, Time for our review of Sinners, the new Ryan Coogler vampire movie, starring Mike Wade Jordan and Haley Steinfeld and Jack O'Connell and a couple other people. Delroy Lindo, Miles Caton, just awesome cast, really really good cast. Not a lot of names that I knew going into this, but some names that I know now. So. Yeah, man. We've both been excited for this since the first trailer came out. It was also like similar to the 28 Years Later trailer. Like it was just a damn good first trailer. Like we've been amped since the first like teaser came out for it. Um, and I even had it in my most anticipated draft at the beginning of the year that we did on episode one. And this is the first movie out of the most anticipated on my side that we've gotten to see, and my God, did it live up to the expectations. Ryan Coogler is a genius. He's a mastermind. I'd seen people say that this was his magnum opus, kind of a culmination of everything he's done up until this point, and I can definitely see that. He puts his nuts on the table with this one, and you can tell it is an unreal movie. My entire Twitter feed right now is Sinners stuff. Everyone, it like no, I've not seen one crossword about it really. Other than that, like one Rotten Tomatoes review you sent, but it's got like a 99 critic score, a 99 audience score. It got like the highest grade ever for a horror movie on Cinema Score. Uh, I think yeah, IGN hates everything, and they gave it like a 9 or a 10. Everyone's loving this
Yeah,
movie.
Cinema Score hates everything and they gave it an A. So
Yeah. just unreal movie. I don't even know where to start, but other than that, Ryan Coogler is him, and he and the fact that he's kind of young. I mean, I don't even think he's 40, and he's already had the movies that he's had in his career, starting with Fruitvale up until this, and the fact that they're all with Michael B. Jordan is even cooler. The ultimate like little duo. I don't know of a, everything that Coogler has done, Michael B. Jordan has been in. I can't really think of another director, um, a director actor combo like that. Like obviously, De Niro did a whole lot with Scorsese at the beginning, and Leo has done a lot with Scorsese, but neither one of them have been in every single one
Yeah.
of his movies. So definitely very cool. This is the sixth time they've collaborated, and unreal stuff, man. You said it in your little Twitter review. They are the best. They're probably the best director actor duo in Hollywood right now. I saw a tweet. I think I sent it to you. They're like basically the Metro Boomin and future of movies, which I thought was a good tweet. Um, but yeah, man, unreal movie. Let's hear some of your thoughts before we jump into it.
Yeah, visually it's so good. And you saw it in IMAX. I unfortunately did not because I saw it going back home. And even on our theater, I was so impressed with how it looked. Let me just tell you, the music is some of the best music I've heard in a movie in a very, very long time. This is one that just you're gonna go back for music. And music really is a big part of this movie. I love the setting. I love the story. I love everything about this movie. It takes me a lot to even find bad things that I could say about this movie. Um, it is, like you said, Ryan Coogler absolutely has to be his his literally it's a masterpiece for him. Him and MBJ are just made for each other, tailor made for each other. There's a reason that he goes back to him, and obviously he's playing two people in this movie, and that's so cool as well. We said it about Robert Pattinson with Mickey 17. There's no one else that can play Mickey. There's not probably anybody else that can play Smokestack. It's perfect casting. Everybody in this film is perfect casting. I loved everybody in this movie. There was not one single bad line delivered in this movie. Um, yeah, man, so impressive. It really is.
Yeah,
It's an art. I tweeted it in my, quick review that this is an art form. So obviously, it's art.
yeah. Yeah, and something else that I actually found out earlier today, I was listening to Lights Camera Marshall's review on this. Um, Ludwig Göransson has also composed the score for every one of Coogler's movies. I didn't know that. I didn't know he had done Fruitvale. I think I knew he did Black Panthers. I don't think I knew he did Creed, but he did Creed 1 and 2, and he did Fruitvale. So he's also they're kind of like a trio. Um, so a lot of people are kind of like, I feel like, I mean, obviously Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, they deserve their flowers, but a lot of people are kind of sleeping on Ludwig. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he's proven himself the last couple of years to, outside of Hans, bro, he's the best composer working right
Yeah.
now. And I think he has the potential to pass the GOAT Hans Zimmer. I mean, he had Oppenheimer a couple of years ago. I think he did Tenet. He's going
I
to be
mean,
doing
Oppenheimer
Odyssey.
is one of the best scores in recent memory.
Which one?
Oppenheimer is
Yeah,
just
dude,
one of the
no.
best scores in
And
recent memory.
this is much different score. This one is much different music and score than any of his other ones up until this point. It's very, very bluesy. Just awesome steel guitar blues music, man, from the Mississippi Delta, which is, we're from not far from there at all, which is super cool. Um, but man, like old school Delta blues, man, that was just where it was at, and the way he weaves that in and out of the movie, literally the whole movie is just unreal. Whether it's like them actually playing it or then it just kind of being the score, um, whether it's the vampires singing, um, or them dancing in the barn or whatever. Like it's just, uh, it's it's one of those movies that there are certain movies that are the score's like almost its own character, and this is one of those movies.
Hmm.
Um, It is an integral part of the movie. The music is an integral part to this story and what it's about. Um, and he just, dude, he killed it. Awesome trio. I didn't know that they had done everything together as well. So awesome trio of guys working together, and they just kick ass in everything they do. But yeah, we can just kind of jump into the movie. So like, yeah, like you said, it's Michael B. Jordan playing twins, and he's going back to the Delta. He's done made some money up in He's done made some money up in Chicago, or they've done made some money up in Chicago, and they come back to Clarksdale, basically trying to make some money. They want to open their own little juke joint and have the whole town come out, um, play some blues music, have drinks, everybody party, whatever. And so they get back in town, and the whole movie takes place over the course of a day, which I thought was super cool.
Very cool.
They go into the town, they kind of recruit everybody, get everybody they need. You kind of get to learn a little more about them through all that, and you get to meet all the side characters. Um, and that's really like the first act of the movie. The first like 45 minutes is just them going through town, getting everybody together, and then they make it to the juke joint. And everything's going great at first, and then until they're not, and vampires are introduced. We get Jack O'Connell. I think his name in the movie was Remick.
Yep.
He was Irish. Um, you get introduced to him, and then he, obviously turns a couple others down there into vampires, and they go to try to go to this party, and Michael B. Jordan and everybody can tell that something's up, and they decline them partially because they're white, and this is everyone else in the juke joint at the moment is, it's not. They could just tell something was a little off. Um, and yeah, man, thing shit just starts hitting the fan from that point on, and this movie's got everything. It's scary, like genuinely creepy. It's got some good action and fight scenes. It's really funny. There are several laugh out loud funny moments. It's emotional. It's even a little romantic. Um, and you just get all that, and all of it's propelled by just incredible acting performances and an incredible score and incredible directing and cinematography. Like everything just looks so real. You were really like immersed in that world. Um, and yeah, man, the whole like last act when the vampires really start, when everything like starts going down, man, I think I'd said it in my Twitter review, probably one of the top third acts probably of this decade, that I can think of off the top of my head, outside of like Dune Part Two, and maybe some others, but unreal third act.
I think I said that it was one of the most satisfying third acts ever. Um, and we talk about it all the time. Original concepts, original stories deserve to be praised, especially when they're really good. So this one to be an original story. Obviously, it's playing on the mythos, folklore of the American Delta, which is so cool. Me and you growing up, very, very close. Very, very. I mean, dude, I spent weekends there all the time in the Mississippi Delta. So I definitely understand some of the stuff that was thrown around. This is stuff that just for us, look, I'm not going to say that it hits home for us, but we understand. We definitely understand. Blues music is almost vital to Mississippi's identity. So to have this played as blues being such a powerful weapon that it bends space and time itself to bring spirits from the past and the future together, to tell stories, to bring people back from the dead. I mean, it's just beautiful really is the word to describe it. um yeah, satisfying beyond. The world building in the first two acts I think is phenomenal. There's a lot of movies that do it bad and it's really slow, really boring, sometimes convoluted, but it felt like every character was brought up to where we had a relationship with all these characters, even the small ones. And I have to say that there's really not a bad acting performance in this movie. I felt very immersed in this world. It probably helps that I was watching it in Mississippi, which is hilarious. And Michael B. Jordan puts on two really good performances. But that's not he. I wouldn't even say he's the MVP of the film. There's people that steal the show from him, and we'll talk about them, and I think we'll talk about everybody in a minute. But yeah, though this story had me intrigued from the jump. When I saw it say Clarksdale, Mississippi at the beginning, you had me hooked because anything that I can kind of relate to in regional, like region wise, I'm in. I'm in. I really am. And there's so many cool stories that I heard growing up that I'm sure you heard growing up. That the history there, the blues there, the music there, all of that there is just so cool. And to see that played out and to bring that into a new, like, yes, it takes place in the 30s, but that's very modern. I mean, this felt modern movie. The costume design was so good. The accents that they were putting on, come on, come on.
Yeah,
I wonder if people that are not from that area had trouble picking up what they were saying. It was fluent English to me, buddy. Nah, it's so good. It is so good. I could go on and on. Y'all heard me rant about Warfare for a long time last week, and I could do it for this movie too. We got two stunning movies back to back. I would
yep,
say that we had the slow start, but especially original concept movies this year. Um, People were saying, Black Bag to Companion to Sinners, like all those movies that the original this year have been like hits.
yeah, man. And that's another thing about the movie too is the fact that it is like 100% original. It's not based on a book. It's not based on any existing IP. Like it is an original idea that Coogler came up with, which I love. Like even Mickey 17's based on a book, and
Yep.
um, some of these other things are based on stories or true stories or whatever. Like Warfare last week. But to get a completely original, just blockbuster like this, it's honestly pretty rare. And man, it just God, it was so good. It was so good. And let's talk about man. Let's talk about that scene. That
Yeah,
scene in the middle, bro.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
mentioned it.
was floating.
Dude, jaw was on the floor. When I
Yeah,
realized what was about to start going on, and she was narrating as he was singing, and spirits from the past and the present and the future all merged into one. When blues music is played, and then you see the dude strolling with the electric guitar, and you're
hmm,
like,
yep,
oh my God. And it's a big long oneer. It goes through the whole juke joint and just shows all of the evolutions of music, past, present, and future. Then a DJ's on stage, like spinning, and you got girls in the crowd twerking, and then it shows like people in old, like ancient
yep,
outfits. Um, Unreal, unlike anything I've ever seen. And I
yeah.
don't think that's something either of us expected in this movie, but that's the scene everyone's talking about. Um, that's one of those movie scenes that I will remember forever. Like I will remember watching that. I like I literally I sat up in my chair and was just like
Yeah.
for the whole scene. Unreal. And that dude, everyone that scene's great, but God, that kid, Miles Caton, this is his first ever acting role ever. And he's doing that in the best scene of the movie, and he's singing as well as he is, and he actually learned how to play the guitar for this movie. Just wow. I mean, that is quite the scene.
One of the, I mean, gonna be defining scenes of movies from this year, this decade, this century. This is ooh, dude, it was something. I had goosebumps, man. Me and Avery locked eyes after that scene, and we were like, yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good stuff right there. Now, Miles, who plays Sammy or Preacher Boy, he is outstanding. I mean, that voice is
Dude,
something.
even his like talking voice, he's got just such a good voice. But
Yeah.
man, when he sings too,
Yeah.
dude,
Like, dude, me and you are huge music fans. We love all types of music. And something that we both love is old rock and roll music, which stemmed from old blues music coming from the Delta. It is just breathtaking to hear this kid sing. I mean, it is it is something. It is outstanding. He kills it. I just can't even. If that's your first ever acting gig, buddy, you got a bright future. Dude, I was sitting there like this, just like, go, 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 just go. Keep going.
Yeah, dude, he could sing his tail off and he could play that guitar, man. Oh, so good, so good. So yeah, no, piggyback off that, I do want to hear who your MVPs were, and mine as well. I definitely think him. He was a standout because he's someone we'd never seen before.
Yeah.
Um, and as soon as at the beginning of the movie when he walks into that church, um, he's very intriguing from the start. And he's
Oh,
honestly
yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean, he's the heart and soul of this movie.
Yeah.
This movie revolves around him.
Yep.
And man, God, he does a good job. Like dude, he takes the spotlight in my opinion, from MBJ, which is crazy. But I think he was MVP, and then I also think Delroy Lindo, who played what was the older man's name in the movie?
Slim. They just called him Slim.
Slim.
Delta Slim.
Delta Slim, I think that was his name. Yeah. He was unreal. He was very, very good in every line delivery he had. And it's funny, he actually is very British in real life, but
Yeah.
you could not tell at all.
Nope.
Um, he delivered a great performance. Very funny lines, but then super emotional moments as well. And then Jack O'Connell as the villain, as the vampire Remick. Dude, he was creepy,
Yeah, he
man.
was.
He was, like funny too, but just terrifying,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, it's crazy. You got to move with Michael B. Jordan, who's like literally and physically like one of the hottest dudes in Hollywood. Everyone loves him, and he's like one of the biggest movie stars in the world. And I think he's overshadowed by a couple people in this movie, which
Yeah.
is incredible, which I
Yeah.
love. I mean, he still does great, but like the fact that you're getting these incredible side performances is huge.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So who were your MVPs?
Yeah, so I was gonna say Delroy Lindo. When you get somebody who is just he even makes a comment like, I believe that he had been around a while, that he's been in music a while, that he's seen the devil before. Yeah, no, he was funny, dude. He was laugh out loud funny. He made me bust out laughing multiple times. Our whole theater was cackling. And just yeah, now that I know that he's British, the accent that he put on is something that you would hear. Man, I'm not kidding. That's something you would hear in the Delta as well. And then I thought the girl that played Annie, Mosaku is her real name. I definitely butchered that. But Annie, who was kind of the let me make sure, Smoke's love interest. I thought she was great
She
as
was. She was
somebody
very good.
who, had known about the spirits, knew about the vampires. You could tell that she was in love with Smoke and had definitely been affected by losing a child. And that she was in love with Smoke all the time that he was gone. And she really cared for everybody that was in the juke joint that was part of her family. She calls Haley Steinfeld family. And to have somebody like that in a movie where definitely you're going to get laughs and everything, but she was definitely like the emotional backbone of this movie, who really was like almost like a mother figure to everybody there. I thought she was really, really good. And when her death, was sucked, where Smoke had to kill her himself, his love interest, and, even, Stack and Mary, when they had already turned, reached out to her after she died, which I thought me and Avery talked about for a little while what the reason for that was. And no, I thought she was incredible. But Delroy Lindo, Miles, Katana, who played Sammy, I thought Haley Steinfeld, even though she was a smaller role, she was very, very good. And of course, Michael B. Jordan was good as well. And the guy who played Cornbread was hilarious. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, Jack O'Connell though, like I mean, whew, yeah,
Yeah.
no,
And I mean, a lot of these characters played they played two characters. Michael B. Jordan played three. Uh, yeah, you had their character and then you had their vampire character. And I think they all did a great job, man. They were really creepy and, some of their like dances and singing and stuff was very like unsettling. And they just did a damn good job. We could talk about all these different MVPs, but the clear MVP here is Ryan Coogler. That is one insanely talented human being. Um, I would just words can't describe like how highly I think of him. I think he is he submitted himself as like one of the dudes. I mean, he's 6 for 6. Um, it's just he's just unreal, man. And it's so cool to see him kind of get to explore, something he's passionate about, which is music. And he said horror. Like he said I've watched interviews with him because he's been very involved in like the press for this movie. And he said that like horror's always been his favorite genre. He loves it. Uh, Sorry, and he loves music, so like getting to blend the two just means a lot to him. And dude, it was God, he was so good. He just did such a damn good job. And then before we give our scores, I also wanted to talk to you about the mid-credit scene. Obviously, the post-credit scene was cool too. Post-credit scene was just Preacher Boy playing. It was just Sammy playing the guitar, singing. What was he singing? This little light of mine, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, that was cool. But
Yep.
man, the mid-credit scene was probably the best mid-credit scene to any movie I've ever seen. And it wasn't your typical mid-credit scene. It was like an actual, like, almost like a second ending to the movie. It was about
Yeah.
5 or 6 minutes. It's a full scene. You get grown-up Sammy in the club or in Chicago in like a juke joint, played by Buddy Guy, blues legend, one of the best guitarists of all time. Eric Clapton, who's also one of the best guitarists of all time, has said that he thinks Buddy Guy is the best guitarist of all time.
High praise, man.
Yeah, he's he's unreal. So to see him like being Sammy, and I looked up Buddy Guy like afterwards, just kind of got some info on him. He also grew up in the Delta, man, and moved to Chicago. So, um, super cool. So you got him playing at Sammy like what, however many years later, 60 years later, and he's
At
close
where was he playing at?
in Chicago.
He was playing at Pearlines. That was the name of the club, Pearlines. Who was his love interest that, he went down on that turned
It
into
was
a vampire.
Pearline. I didn't even know that was her name, or was it Pearl?
Pearline. Yeah.
Interesting. I did not notice that. But yeah, the club's closing up, and um, the bartender says, "Hey, we got two more coming in. They say they know you." And he's like, "All right, send them in." And of course, Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld walk through, and they're like '90s get up. He's got the '90s hair, and she's all dolled up. She's got a sucker and the tight jeans and the '90s hair, and because you didn't really see what happened to them in the like I guess original ending. It never really showed. Um, so you find out in that scene that Smoke had made an agreement with Stack, Vampire Stack, was like, hey, if you leave Sammy alone, I'll let you live. Just leave Sammy alone and leave. Um, so Smoke kind of ended up, saving Sammy's life, unbeknownst to Sammy up until that moment. So um, I thought it was just such a cool, like almost alternate ending that I was not expecting. And I think probably the most powerful line of the movie, the most like moving line, he was like, as horrible, as horrific as that day was, and I've had nightmares about it every day since, like, up until that point, before it got bad, he said that was the best day of my life. And Michael B. Jordan said, it was mine too. He said it's the last time I saw my brother, and it's the last time I saw the sun. And I heard that, I was like, damn, that's some good freaking writing right there.
Yep.
Awesome, awesome mid-credit scene. Did you like it?
Yeah, he said
I did on LCB. They kind of had mixed feelings about it, but I loved it, man.
um yeah, it was almost like a closing of a book. He says that that night we were free.
Yep.
And it gives me goosebumps just even saying it. It's such a really, really good ending. To see a legend played or, get, and he even says like, "Hey, all that electric shit, I don't like it. I like the real stuff. I want it. Do you have that old guitar?" He gets it out, starts playing it. It's just, it's great. It's really great. It's actually perfect if you want my honest opinion. Um, you could say what you want about the movie, but that 6 minute scene really just is perfect.
Yeah, man.
It's awesome. Um, and even the after credit scene where he's just basically letting the guitar talk. He's letting the guitar talk. He's singing "This Old Light of Mine," and it's just good, man. Sammy is a just really well written character. I think Smoke and Stack are too. I think those three. There's so much symbolism I feel like in this movie, and we're gonna run it. It's so late already, and I don't want to get into 30 more minutes of symbolism. But that guitar, man, the one that he keeps, he could have easily dropped that guitar after everything he saw, and ran to his dad, ran to the preacher. He walks right out that door, still gripping what's left of the guitar, and he knows that music is all he wants, all he has. So I just think it's very cool. It's very powerful. Um, it's just really, really good, dude. It's just great writing, honestly.
Yeah, man. Let's jump into your scores. What did you give it?
Yeah, so it I didn't think this would happen 2 weeks in a row. I didn't think Warfare would do it with a 5 stars. I had high hopes for Sinners, and they exceeded every expectation that I had, from music to acting to setting to visuals. I gave it a 5 stars on Letterboxd. I'm not sorry at all. And after having a new number one last week, it looks like there's going to be a new number one this week. So after the 5 stars, I'm giving it this probably it's going to be very tough to beat this score. Not giving it a 10, not giving it a 10, but I am going to give it a 9.7. I told Cole that the only thing that could bring this movie down for other people, so I'm not saying this is what brought it down for me to not be a 10. The only thing that could make it not as good in some people's eyes is the first two acts are a little bit slow for world building. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thought it was definitely worth it, and it was satisfying. I could see how some people did not. So that is an opinion that I have, that I thought the world building was great. That might be in part that I love the Delta aspect of it and
Mhm.
the characters. But a 9.7, it is right up there with some of the one of the best films that I've seen in the past 5 years easily.
Yeah. Nah, man, I do agree. It's up there for sure. Um, so I settled a little bit lower, and I'll explain why. I settled at a 4.5 stars, and I ranked it 9.3. I did it point 0.1 under Warfare, and I'll explain why in a second. But still unreal. It's in the nines. Like that is go see this movie. I'm not knocking it. Kind of like what you said. I did really enjoy the first act and the second act, but it did drag a little bit. I've seen some people say that and kind of have agreed with that statement. Like you said, you probably had a little more love for it because we grew up in Mississippi, and that's kind of like what it's about, is establishing the setting and what it's like and everything. And I loved all that too. Um, but I think like maybe 10 or 15 minutes could have been cut out of this movie, and it would have just been a little bit more sharper. Um, but that doesn't take away from the whole back half of the movie being a masterpiece.
Mhm.
I also think like not even necessarily just the first act, but like the beginning of the second act when they finally like get to the juke joint and everything. It still takes like almost 30 minutes for stuff to start happening at the juke
Mhm.
joint, which I understand. You're trying to see all the different dynamics between the characters and stuff. But I just think there's a couple moments in this movie I think dragged a little bit, and I was kind of like, "Come on, let's get the ball rolling here." But man, outside of that, just perfect movie, acting wise, score wise, cinematography, directing, writing, like dude, just through the roof. Everyone killed it. Not one even remotely mediocre performance. Everyone killed it. Um, Unreal movie. The only reason I have it at a 4.5 and not 5 is for that reason. And it honestly takes a lot for me to give it a 5 star. It's got to be personal enjoyment and just I don't know. I only gave 3 movies 5 stars last year, and I saw like 80 something. So this isn't quite up like to the caliber of Dune Part Two in my opinion, but it is still a damn good movie. It's probably the best movie this year so far. It's just personal preference and ranking. Warfare was just so much more moving to me, emotional, as we talked about last week, and I know you still agree with me there. And you still have it at 5 stars. But Warfare was just it just like hit me, man. It was just one of those super emotional movies. And this was honestly emotional too, but
I had a
just in,
lot to think about leaving this movie. I'm not
just in a
gonna.
different way.
There was a lot of yeah, yeah.
So that's why I have Sinners just a teeny bit below Warfare, but 9.3, 4.5, man. You gave it 5 stars. You even went up from what we originally talked about. You jumped up to 9.7. Go see this movie. Go give this movie
Yeah.
all the money. I am probably gonna go see this again. I loved it so much, and I want to see it on the big screen one more time. Um, unreal movie. We cannot give high enough praise. I mean, we could go on and on about it, but we we got it in this episode eventually. But um, dude, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, and Ludwig Göransson, and everyone else, man, congratulations! You guys made a beautiful piece of art,
Hmm.
um, and I hope the world sees it. It seems like it's doing well. It's like one of the best R-rated movie openings, like like forever, outside of like Deadpool and stuff like that. But man, unreal movie.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
So, like you said, two banger back-to-back weeks for movies. Let's keep it rolling, man. Let's keep this energy. It's finally blockbuster season. We got Minecraft and Warfare in this. 3 weeks in a row. Three awesome movies for very different
Hey,
reasons.
Minecraft's doing a great job, man. It looks like I'm probably gonna hit that billion mark, so
Oh
that's
yeah, dude,
huge.
it's getting close for sure.
I know it surpassed
Um,
700 mil, so
yes, I saw that as well, and it's still gonna continue to
yeah.
dominate that uh, for a couple weeks. 'Cause that's really like the only kid movie out. But yeah, man, that is our Sinners review. I'm very glad that I drafted it. I think it was my third pick in my draft. And your first one was Mickey 17, so we both did pretty good in our draft
Yeah,
so far.
both both
I
pretty
don't know what the
good.
next one will be. Neither one of us drafted Thunderbolts. Maybe it's 28 Days Later or Mission Impossible or years later.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll just have to see, man. So, like I said, we're finally in full swing blockbuster season. And I cannot wait. And then, as we do every week, just wanted to recap, see if you saw anything. Did you watch anything this week outside of um
The
shows and stuff?
only thing I talked about last week, watched 4 or 5 more episodes of The Pit. It's getting to the point where it's just it takes place in one day. Just talked about Sinners taking place in one day. The whole season takes place in one day. I forgot to mention that last time. So
Yeah,
it
I
goes
know. I
hour
know. It's
by
like one
hour.
shift, right?
Yeah, hour by hour.
Yep.
There's no score in this show. It's just the chaotic nature of ERs and what you have to do day in and day out. I respect it, man. I respect it a lot. They did a great job. Some gruesome injuries, some interesting cases, some very, very heartbreaking moments about death and kind of how the main guy, whose name is Dr. Robbie, kind of deals with that. But no, overall, I think it's a very, very well made show. I wouldn't really it's a medical drama, but it's not really a drama. It's putting you in the shoes of a healthcare worker in the ER. I respect it. I got a lot of respect for those people, and I think it's very, very cool. So I've enjoyed it. I think acting is very, like, really good. Some very likable characters too, and some douchebags as well. So, yeah, no, it's good, man. It's very good.
Good, man. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, you need to get caught up on Studio,
Yep.
and I know you'll probably be watching Paradise soon as well. It's funny
Yep.
today. My parents actually finished Paradise
Nice.
before I left. They really enjoyed it.
Nice.
But yeah, man. Outside of Black Mirror, I did only watch one movie this week, and it was a new release. I checked out The Amateur,
Oh,
um,
nice.
starring Rami Malek, earlier in the week. A movie that we were both excited for, but I know we weren't able to make it that first weekend. But solid movie. Nothing groundbreaking. Rami Malek is very, very good. Like he's the highlight of that movie. Um,
Always. Always
outside,
good.
of course, outside of that, it is nothing more than a movie that's going to be played every Saturday on TNT at 1 p.m. for the rest of time. It's one of those movies, just very, very just stereotypical spy action thriller. It's a little different in the fact that like he's killing people in these weird, unique ways, but um, it was all right. I gave it 3 stars,
Nice.
6 point something. So that's really the only thing I checked out this week. But yeah, I guess we can kind of go ahead and wrap up. We got The Accountant 2 and Until Dawn this week. So we'll definitely make it to at least one of those and have a review for you guys next week. But thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for all the love you've been showing. Continue to like and subscribe and comment and interact with our YouTube and everything. We're loving all the appreciation. We're going to keep doing it because we love doing it. So,
Yeah, TikTok, Twitter, all of that good stuff. We got content coming out this week. I'm gonna be trying to fit in stuff during finals, but yeah, we'll be back and forth. Graphics, ratings, all of that. Like, subscribe, comment what you want to see. We love you guys. Peace out.
nah,
We
we cousins.
cousins. No, we cousins.